So even though your calculator says 43.2, you've got to remember that it's 43, because this is the type of thing that math teachers like to do to you. I don't do this stuff to you, but a lot of other math teachers will. They'll do this. They'll give you a multiple choice test. And answer A will be 43.2 and answer D will be 43. And how many of you will circle A? A whole bunch of you, because your calculator is showing you 43.2, yeah? And then your teacher will mark it wrong. And he'll be like, or she, well, she probably won't laugh like that. That's kind of how guys laugh. She'll probably go, hee. But, you know. So be on the lookout for stuff like that, because you still have to be thinking when you do math. And this, you could answer it either way, in meters or kilometers. I don't care. And this, you also could have answered that as 7,052 and 13/36 of a yard. That would have been okay too, either one. Is everyone okay with that page? I think that was page 18. Everybody cool? Anybody want to talk about any of them? Sweet. Okay, people often want to talk about 17 and 18. Is everyone okay with them? Everyone's okay with them? Everybody got those two numbers? Everyone knows why? Or do I need to talk about them? Talk about them? Okay. We'll start with 17. So if I'm framing a picture that's 3 feet by 5 feet, I need how many inches of frame? So 3 feet is 3 times 12 is 36 inches, yes? And then 5 times 12 is 60 inches, yes? So this is 60, and this, oh, I lie, sorry. This is 36, and this is 60, yeah? And how many of them are there? 36 and 60, because it's lengths and widths. So that's 120 plus 72, which is 192 inches. Okay, it's behind, it'll show up in a second. Okay, now the second question says, if the frame is 1 inch thick, well, here's the picture. Who's that? That's me, guys. It's my drawing of me. Okay. There's the picture. The picture is 3 feet by 5 feet, which we know to be 36 by 60, yes? Except now it's 1 inch thick, right? So there's 1 extra inch there and 1 extra inch there, making this side how long? 62. And there's 1 extra inch there and 1 extra inch there, making this side how long? 38. 62 and 38 is 100, and I got to do that twice to get the 200. Everybody okay? It's not complicated math. It's thinking about it. Everybody with me? That's what happens in grade 10 with this course. You got to think about everything. It's not like it was in grade 8 and 9 when it's just like, there's the answer, no problem. Everybody okay? Does anybody want to talk about 19? And why that is the answer? People need to see that one? Yeah? Okay. What are those measurements in? Feet or inches? Inches. The stuff is sold by the foot. So what do I need to do? I got to convert from inches to feet, right? Now, my living room is a rectangle. So that means, what do I have to do with that? I got to multiply it by 2, don't I? Because I got to go all the way around the living room. So the way I would do that is I'd go 185 plus 240 to get 425. As soon as it lights up. Oh, that actually disappeared. That's new. There we go. 425 times 2 to get 850. Right? Now that is 850 inches, but the stuff's sold by the foot, right? So what do I have to do with that answer? Convert it to feet, right? Now, because we're staying in one system, we know it's just divide by 12, right? So I'm going to divide by 12, and that's going to get me an answer. Now, that answer is going to be weird, right? Because if I go 850 divided by 12, 70.83 feet, right? Now, the stuff is sold by the foot. So how many feet do I need to buy? 71 feet. So I need 71 feet. And I know that it's 379 a foot. So I got to multiply that by 3.79. And I'm going to hope that that just shows up. Anyway, it's 71 times 3.79. And we're going to hope that my brand spanking new supercomputer wakes up and starts working. Times 3.79 to get my answer. Everybody cool? Okay. Anybody need to talk about any of those? It's 8 by 12, so I got to have them both to get 40 feet. This one's a little tricky. If the shed is 96 feet squared, that's 1/3 of my backyard. So that means that times 3 is my whole backyard, yes? Right? So 96 times 3 is what? 208? 288, right. And then I got to take out how much? I got to take out 96 because 96 of that is my shed. So I got 192 feet of yard. This is another one of those questions where when I do the work, I get a decimal, yes? I can do 5 feet square per roll. I got to cover 192 feet. 192 divided by 5, and that's going to give me a number. It's going to be a decimal, isn't it? It's going to be 38 something. So I got to buy that 39th roll. Even if it doesn't round up, I still got to buy that 39th roll. So then this is 39 times 2.75. Is everybody cool with the practice stuff? Okay? All right. So here's what is going to happen. We're going to go on to converting between systems. I'm going to give you some practice work to do in class with me. And then tonight, I'm going to give you 2 worksheets that are in your book with no answers. Okay? I will go over those answers tomorrow. And sometime tomorrow, you're going to have your first quiz on conversions. Okay? That's how fast it's going to go. Everybody cool? Okay. Will you be allowed to use your charts? Yeah, I'm going to give you your charts with all the conversions on it. You'll be fine. You just got to know how to use them, okay? All right. So let's move it along to converting between systems, which for you guys, you need to skip all the way up to 23. So remember, at the top of this, because we're going between systems, I'm going to rewrite that fraction. To convert, we take the measurement that we have, and we multiply that by the fraction. The fraction is always what we want over what we have. Now in this case, because we're going between systems, there's going to be an SI one, and there's going to be an imperial one. I'm going to just hope that those show up. Now, depending on where they are, it's going to be a multiplier divide, right? One of these is going to be a 1, and the other one is going to be a number. If the number's on the bottom, it's division, right? If the number's on the top, it's multiply. Shortcut for you to help you out. But it's always the same thing. Now, I'm going to be using this page here. I'm going to flick to it. I have a lot of this memorized. You guys probably don't. If you do, great. If not, no big deal. You have this in your books. It's page 16, I think, right? So you can flip back to it if you need to. So, start it nice and easy. A bowling lane is 19 meters long. What is this measurement in feet? So I set up my fraction. At the beginning, I really recommend you actually write the fraction out. So I have 19 times, and what do I want? I want feet, and I have meters. So I look on my sheet, and I see 1 foot is 30.48 centimeters. But I don't have foot to meters, do I? But I know that centimeters are how many decimal places away from meters. How many steps did we go on this to get from meters to centimeters? 2 steps. So the decimal place has to move how many places? 2. So this one right here, I can move that over there, and I get 1 foot equals 0.3048 meters. And you can write that right in your notes. That's fine. I don't care. That's a good one to memorize, because you'll notice it's not given on the sheet. That's why this blank square is here, to put in some ones that we use a lot but aren't on that sheet. I'll give you a second to write it down. And remember, this is being recorded. So we'll come back to where we're working here. So 1 foot is 0.3048 meters. Going to come up in a second. Maybe. There it is. So is the number on Haley? Yes.
I just want to say that on our sheet we have the 1 foot to
Oh, you do? Look at how nice I am. I changed yours so it would have it, so you didn't have to write it down. Man, always thinking. That's me. Not really. But it's there, so you didn't need it. So where's the number? It's at the bottom, right? So is this a multiply or divide situation? It's divide. So we are going to go on our calculator, 19 divided by 0.3048. And that's going to give us our answer. What is that answer? If you have your calculator out. If not, you're just waiting. 61.33. So what's the answer to the nearest foot? 61. Right? Was it 61? I didn't calculate it. So I have to trust you guys did that right. Well, I guess I got to get out my calculator. 19 divided by 0.3048. Oh, okay. So 62.3. So it's 62 feet. Okay. Now this is a good thing that has happened here. Because who said 61? I'm not trying to put them down, but who said it? Okay, so Brooklyn, if you wrote out a little bit of work like this, but wrote 61, what do you think I'd give you on a test? Say the question was out of 2. No, I would give you 1.5 out of 2 because you did all the math right. You understand what I'm saying? I might even give you 2 out of 2 because I care about math. This is math 10, isn't it? It's not calculator 10, right? Now, what would I do if you showed me something totally wrong with no work? What would I have to give you? 0. Does everybody understand that? So let's say you forgot that this was divide and you multiplied and you gave me some weird answer, right? 19 times 0.3048. Then you would get an answer of 6 feet. And you showed me no work. What would I have to give you? 0. Because that shows me, A, you don't know what's happening mathematically, and B, you also don't understand real life. 19 meters is a long way. A bowling alley is a long way. 6 feet is as tall as a dude. Most men, not me because I'm short. But a lot of men make it pretty close to 6 feet tall. A bowling alley is longer than a person. So if you were to write that, that shows me that you don't actually know what's going on. Is everybody cool with that? This whole unit is based on a lot of common sense. You got to use your brain. All right, so what's the next one? Hannah drove 62 miles. Farron drove 98 kilometers. Who drove further? When I put this question on a test, I see a lot of kids converting both to both. Do you have to do that? No. Which one do you have to convert? Does it matter? As long as you convert one or the other, you're going to get the right answer, yes? So either I got to go 62 miles times, I want km over miles. So it's 1.609 over 1. Numbers on the top, so it's multiply. Or I go 98, and I want miles, m over km. And it's 1.609 down there and 1 up there, and that's divide. So long as you do it once, you get the right answer, because you have the other one, right? The reason I put this question in there is so I can show you that you can work both of them. It doesn't matter which one you do. The fraction thing always works. What if I'm in chemistry class and I'm converting two totally different things? I can still use this. It's called proportional reasoning. You can use it in everything. So what was our answer? And I'll wait a second and let you guys work it out. Because I don't have these memorized. I'll get my handy dandy calculator going. Because I can't do this in my head. I wanted to do that black. 99.8. So Hannah drove 99.8 miles, so Hannah drove further. Or I can convert Farron. And get 61, right? Everybody cool? Okay. So here's where it starts to get tricky. I want to convert feet and inches to centimeters. Because in Canada, we got to measure this in centimeters. Some of you are going to make a mistake here. What number do I start with? Do I have 6.2? No, I don't, do I? What do I have? I have 6 feet 2 inches, right? Which is 6 feet 2 inches. They're separate. So what do I got to do? Can I convert them both at the same time? No, not really. I can if I make it a decimal. So this one, if I went to my sheet, feet to centimeters is right there. 1 foot is 30.48 centimeters. So I can go 6, and I want centimeters, 30.48. Do I even need to write the 1 anymore? No, because the 1's on the bottom. I don't need to write it. So this is a multiply situation, correct? So I do that, and that's going to give me an answer, whatever that is. $182.88. Then I got 2 inches, and I go to my sheet, and I see 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So 2, and I got my 1, I want centimeters, so it's 2.54, because I don't need the 1. I get 5.08. Now what do I got to do with those two numbers? Easy peasy, you just add them up. 188. Because it's to the nearest centimeter, and it'll show up in a second. And then the 8 will disappear. Everybody cool? So please notice, there is not a lot of math in this whole unit. It's practice. And eventually it takes 2 seconds to do everything. This question is particularly funny to me because there are always, well, not always, but quite often you see in the news trucks getting stuck under bridges. How many of you guys, when you drive home from Vancouver, you drive under that railroad track in Langley, right? And if you look at the overpass, you see how many chunks of it are missing. Why are those chunks missing? People driving trucks and loads into that railway. That's why there's that laser that tells you if you're too tall to go under there. When I was your guys' age, somebody was taking a barge with a crane under the Knight Street Bridge in Vancouver. And under the Knight Street Bridge is a giant water pipe that hangs below the bridge. Nobody bothered to measure that crane, and guess what happened? They hit the pipe. And all the water started pouring out. Like everybody in Vancouver had no water for a while. And they were wasting tons of water. It was crazy. So questions like this are kind of important. And I'll give you another example because I like to pick on Target. One of the problems Target had is they forgot that Canada measures metrically. Well, they kind of remembered. And they set up all their ordering software, but they forgot to convert it. So that's why Target always had empty shelves, because they weren't ordering enough stuff to fill up the shelf. The shelf was in metric, but their stuff was in imperial. And another one that's a good one is a dude took off in his plane from Montreal to fly to Vancouver, and he almost crash landed. He had to land in Winnipeg because people forgot to change the gallons to liters. So he ran out of gas in the air. That's the funny story I was going to tell you guys. I was driving across the United States one time. I was like 3 a.m. I was driving. I was a little tired. My wife was sleeping in the car. And I see this road sign that says the next town is 52 away. I look at my gas gauge, which didn't work in that car. And then I realized, oh crap, the gas gauge doesn't work. So I looked at the odometer and I knew I could go 545 kilometers on a tank of gas. And I was at like 480. So I was like, oh, I'll make that next town, no problem. But of course the road sign was in what? Miles. And my car was in what? Kilometers. I didn't make conversion. So of course we ran out of gas in the middle of Montana at 3 a.m. And my wife was asleep, so I snuck out and got gas and got back. She never even woke up. But I had to leave her in the woods. She was fine. I didn't want her to know that I couldn't do math and that I'd forgotten we were in America. On that same trip, our insurance also expired because I forgot we were going to America. I was in the middle of Wyoming and I looked at my license plate. August 18th. August 23rd. I've got no insurance. You would think that would be a problem, but so many people are such idiots that ICBC has a whole department for those people. When you call them, you say, hi, I'm not in BC and my insurance is expired. What do I do? Don't worry. And they hit a button, they send you to the person that can fix it. Because that many people are idiots. Me included. I'm driving to California this August and my insurance is up on August 19th. Gonna remember. Maybe I'll vlog about it. You guys can all be like, oh, that idiot did screw up. He's in San Bernardino and he's trying to get insurance. I'm not going to vlog about it. I hate vlogging. I'm not important enough to need to, and nor is almost anybody that does it. Don't follow anyone. Make real life friends and lead. Anyway, sorry, back to business. Is this truck driver going to fit under there? Again, which one do I have to convert? Both or only one of them? Only one. Does it matter which one I convert? No, of course not. Is that one of the ones that you can charge up that caught on fire? You see that on the news? Some kid had a Bluetooth fidget spinner with a speaker in it, and it caught on fire. Anybody else see that? It would be so cool if it caught on fire when you were actually spinning it. Then you'd be like a circus guy. You could juggle it, and it was burning. I got to admit, those things are funner than I thought they would be. I said funner. I know it's not a word. But when you guys all first started bringing them in, I was like, my God, that is so lame. Why do you have them? And then my son got one, and I was like, ooh. Ooh. And now I'm as bad as he is. I'm not putting you down, by the way. I'm actually saying they are way more fun than I thought they were going to be, and I can barely stop playing around with them. All right, so what do I got to do here? Here is where you can start to use your brain a little. Because is this 11.9? No. It's 11 and 9/12. Well, isn't 11 and 9/12 11.75? Picking up what I'm putting down? So eventually it'll show up. So I know that this is this. So even though it's not a proper decimal, I can make it a decimal if I convert this way. And then I need that in feet to go into meters. So meters is what I want over feet. 1 meter is 0.3048 feet, right? Other way around, sorry. 0.3048 meters is 1 foot. So the number's on the top, so it's just to multiply. And you can check that yourself. Does dude make it under? Yes or no? Does he fit? That's 3.6 meters. Does he fit under the 3.5? His truck is 3.5. The bridge is 3.6. Does he fit? Yeah. Should he risk it? All the guys like, yeah, do it, man. He'll make it. It's no problem. It's this much. 0.3048 by 11.75. In Cleveland, a truck got stuck in a truck got stuck in a tunnel because a guy tried to risk it like this. And nobody knew how they were going to get the truck out. What are we going to do? He's stuck in the tunnel. We can't break the tunnel up. and it was a little kid that solved the problem. What did he do? Anybody got a guess? How did the little kid get the truck out? Let air out of the tires. Flattened the tires, the truck sunk like 6 inches, and then they just drove it out on the rims. Trucker was mad. But what are you going to do? Trucker's the guy that got stuck in the tunnel. All right, I'm going to shut up for, it's 11:20. We go until 11:50. You got half an hour. Let's do these two. Make sure you can do them. And then we're going to go on to something slightly different. I'm going to show you guys the right answers to this in 20 minutes. That should be enough time to get it done. More than enough time to get it done. This video. Finish it up with all that. Yep. Well, yeah. And there all these are. And there's all those. So